trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a roll. See White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
Beast Mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Oh. Santi getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Sagafar is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick under Leaky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Ana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the 8? They get the 8.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the CGL Season 16. Week 2 continues here tonight in our NA Open tier. We've got Tsunami versus the Zodiacs. Ray, are you ready to get this Open tier matchup rolling?
I'm excited. It is my first gambit into the Open tier this year, or this season. It is, our highest tier division we have available. The best of the best are in this division, so I cannot wait to see these 2 teams going at it. Tsunami, Zodiacs. One team looking to stay on track, the other team looking for a bounce back, so I can't wait to get this started.
Yeah, I mean, that's been, the season hasn't been super long, so there's still a lot to, kind of figure out as we, finally get back into the groove of competition. Like you said, 1-0, 0-1, the difference is only 1 game, right? So it is worth noting that I believe it was the Zodiacs that won. They won 3-0. Tsunami lost 3-0. So, that could have something kind of silly in here. But as we get ready to head into this match, Ray, I believe the teams are just about ready to go. Like a snap. We've got our first map is Samoa. I guess, Ray, I thought we were going to go into the teams, but I guess we're headed straight in, maybe?
Yeah, so Samoa is going to be, as you guys will see on all the broadcasts this weekend, it will be the chosen map that is preset to be map number 1 for every match this week. After that, it will be loser's pick. As we will now begin the ban phase, to keep in mind the team who gets the first ban in this case was Tsunami, which means they won the coin toss. So we're going to see what they look to ban here is a big question, because if we just base off our team sheets a little bit, Tsunami loves to run that Ram, and for the Zodiacs, they really love their Winston. So, I don't know if these teams know that much information about each other to where they're going to look to target ban, or do you, at this point, if you don't know each other, I feel like you just get rid of a hero that's always been troublesome. I mean, you kind of know based on scrims what heroes tend to be, very annoying for your compositions.
So our Tsunami ban coming in here, it's going to be Doomfist. Which, okay, if they do want to run that Ramatra, Doomfist is kind of a nail in the side of that block, which is kind of what makes Ramatra so survivable. But now, as we head over to... going back, I really don't have anything else to add to that, because Doomfist isn't supremely prevalent. But as we head over to Zodiacs now, damage support are left for them to select from, and our sample size still incredibly low, of course, on these teams. They are still trying to figure out, what they like, what they don't like, what they really, really don't like. So I guess here in just a few seconds, we will get to see what the Zodiacs will be getting rid of. It will be Lucio, which could be kind of a nuisance if you want to run a Ramatra comp.
Yeah, I agree. Getting rid of that speed. I mean, obviously, you still have another option in the Juno at the speed ring, but Lucio's definitely a lot more handy and a lot more utility for being able to constantly speed in and out and being able to, rotate much easier because you can just switch to speed and rotate. With Juno, you're either going to rotate slow or you got to wait for the speed ring to get online and use that. So getting that out of the playing field for the Zodiacs, I think was smart. I think both teams really just. I think for Tsunami, I don't think we were expecting Doomfist. Either they were trying to protect their Ramatra, or they just don't want to deal with the Doomfist, who, as you mentioned, can be very troublesome. Zodiacs, I feel like they kind of have an idea that Tsunamis want to go with more brawl. Got rid of that Lucio, and also for Winston compositions, when you're trying to dive in, a Lucio boop can really disrupt your dive. So I think it was also that was part of it.
And well, as we talked about earlier, our first map will be the Samoa. First up, though, I'm gonna talk about Tsunami, which could be really, really bad for the beaches of Samoa. Let's keep an eye on them, I think. But we've got Venti and Blazing on the DPS, Lickable Grass on that tank roll, Big Brain, and Speed Boost, who will probably not be doing anything of the sort this map. But of course, like you said earlier, this team started out 0-1, looking to get their bounce back here against a team who was off to a little bit of a better start.
Especially considering starting off 0-1. If you go 0-2, the chances of making the midseason, especially in one of the bigger divisions being the open tier, it's going to be that much less likely that you're able to make the midseason. Not that the whole season's over, just the likeliness of making midseason is. So very important for them to bounce back and get the dub here. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Zodiacs roster. We got Raz and Sterling on that DPS line with Dexter rocking that Winston, and Ponyo as well as Zexo 2K on the support line.
Yeah, off to a significantly better start here. 3-0 win, statement win in the first week is always excellent to have. On top of the fact that they are playing a far more favorable composition into what the current meta has developed into with the revelation of this newer season, right? They like the Winston. Dexter really, really wants us to know that he likes the Winston. I can't imagine that they play anything other than that. Raz and Sterling have made it known that they really like their dive characters too. Raz calls himself the Magnus Carlsen of Reaper. So, I can imagine that, with the exception of Ponyo, who does kind of prefer that Lucio, I'm pretty sure that this is one of the few times that these hero lineup things that we've got for these teams is going to be super close to what we actually see in game.
Again, keep in mind, this is map 1. This is the first time we're getting a look at these teams, so who knows for sure exactly what we're going to see. One thing for Zodiacs, though, is they do play in the Face It Advanced League. They got 7th last season, and they are currently in the top 10, so something to keep in mind. This team is definitely well-versed, well-practiced, and should be, especially considering they're in Face It and, constantly having games, a well-oiled machine.
Could not agree more. Map number 1 on the horizon here. Samoa coming in just a second. Maybe one of these days. Maybe, you know what? Samoa's beautiful. You know that? That's a very pretty map, very pretty place. I'd like to go one day.
Oh yeah, Samoa is definitely one of those vacation destinations. I mean, obviously, you got to go, hopefully that volcano is not actually, active. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully it's like an inactive volcano, so you don't have to worry about that when you go traveling there. But outside of that, it's definitely beautiful. Just want to kick back on the beach and relax, and maybe behind me I'll see an Overwatch fight, breaking out. I mean, I could be at that bar on the beach map and just be drinking and see behind me. Oh wow, there's Winston and Reaper going at it.
Is that Winston Overwatch? Oh my god! Whoa! Love that guy. That guy's awesome. But I can see why, I can see why, a lot of people. Baptiste, I can see why he's so chill, why he spent a lot of time there. but yeah, we're getting some technical difficulties out of the way early here. Hopefully, it sounded like a connection issue for one of the players, so we'll get that squared away as soon as possible. Well, I guess we won't. We don't really have any power in that realm. We don't have much power at all over the proceedings of this game, do we, Ray?
Yeah, I only have so much power. I only have so much power over like the CGL staff. I don't have power over how the games go. So
it's kind of like a philosophical thought, huh? Like we're the ones in front of the camera, but we can't do anything, Ray.
Yeah, I mean, we just gotta sit back and hope this gets solved soon. But again, so I mean, we're kind of going, based on the team sheets. I do think, given the meta we're in right now, where it's a lot more dive centric, a lot more dive favored, we're seeing Wrecking Ball have a resurgence, Hazard coming back into the fray once again. Winston and Diva definitely sprinkled in and out. You would think that the Winston that Zodiacs have shown on their team sheet will be much more favorable. But I do think some of these points, like the beach, like the volcano, those ones can be, a little bit more close quarters, can be a little brawly, but you can still definitely make the Winston work. I mean, I've seen plenty of teams play Winston on those maps, and it goes perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the dive compositions have been like very leaned into is kind of why we're a little bit more shaky on what Tsunami likes in general. That's not to say, of course, Tsunami will not play the dive, just because like my favorite character is Sombra, right? It's my most played character too. She's banned every game in on the ladder. So and Dexter wants us to know that the note that he left in the team sheet is very important, but I hate to break it to you, Dexter, I'm taller than you. Dexter's 6'4",
honestly,
I'm 6'5".
Honestly, I closed out on the team sheet. What did it say?
It just says 6'4".
Oh, yeah, guys. Fletch is very tall, man. I mean, we can't tell when we're sitting in our cameras and stuff, but I've met Fletch in person.
Oh, Lord.
Fletch is a very tall man. I mean, I'm not short either. I'm definitely, 6'2". I'm not 6'4", but Fletch is definitely more than 6'4".
Yeah, just a little bit. Doesn't help the knees, but we're back out here, guys. Seems like those troubles were briefly solved. I don't want to get back into the philosophics of it all. Philosophy. Is that the word? Philosophy? But okay, so yeah, no, we're not gonna talk about me buying a new car. That's not how we're gonna go. Y'all couldn't hear that, but our producer is razzing me a little bit. I do think though that as we wait for this to resolve itself, we will go to a short break so that Ray and I can not have to talk about me buying a new car. Oh, never mind. I lied. I'm stupid. We're going back in. Maybe. I mean, I was told.
Hopefully, the technical difficulties have now been solved. As you guys can see, we will be starting on the beachfront map. Taking a look at the rosters for these teams, no surprise for Tsunami. We are going to see that Ramatra with the Reaper. Ramatra and Reaper are mostly going to be hip to hip. Throwing a lot of damage in, and they will be substituting that Juno for the speed boost. Instead of the Lucio. But for the side of the Zodiacs, no Winston currently on the table. I think this Zarya, which also has been showing itself to be pretty viable in a lot of situations, is also there to be able to, throw down a lot of damage on this Ramatra.
All right, well, here we go. Ponyo on the Wuyong here. Very, very apt naming for the water character, doing a little bit of the poke. Of course, Blazing was the first to fall early in that fight, and with as much charge as Dexter's got, it's not like an insane amount, but Lickable Grass will be falling. The Reaper barely gets out, but it'll be Zodiacs that come out on top of this first fight.
Yeah, no, honestly, you're able to win that with not a whole lot of charge gain for Dexter either. So for the side of Tsunami, that's at least one thing you can take out of that, is you didn't feed a lot of charge to the Zarya that they can carry over into the next fight. So that's got to be feeling pretty good. But I do like the Wuyong Kiriko combination a lot better than the Kiriko Juno in this situation.
Surly very lucky to get away from that blazing assault there. Now going head to head, cannot escape it a second time. She takes down Sturley here as the Zodiacs will rotate to try and take care of those on the point. 3-4-2 Tsunami looking like they're in the lead of this fight, and without Dexter, it's going to be very hard to withstand this fight any longer.
Yeah, you're gonna have to use the fade to get out if you are Raz. You're just gonna have to wait to rebound. But again, that was great from Blazing. She made an incredible play and was able to open things up on that Tracer. Both team fights so far have been opened up by great Tracer play.
Trying their damnedest to not give Dexter that charge up, but Zexo has found that first pick. Sturley running away, going over to this health pack, baiting Blazing into this lower area, but Raz is on the point, dropping bodies left and right. Sturley with a pulse bomb ready to go, will not let it loose as Venti will be the last to fall. They did get the flip, but did not give up a whole lot in the end.
Yeah, again, very smart from Sturley, giving that fight was already won. No need to throw in that pulse bomb, even though it was pretty much free. 5 ultimates in on both teams. The only one really lagging behind is speed boost on the Juno. So we'll see as the tidal wave is going to come in from Ponyo.
Well, the Kitsune Rush coming in from the side of Big Brain, but they do not have their tank. Lickable Grass falls to Raz, who is kind of laying waste right now with these Hellfire shotguns. Recall forced out, but this fight's well over.
As it will be back to spawn room for the side of Tsunami. And with the percentage that we're sitting at right now for this map, great pulse bomb coming in from Blazing. This is their last opportunity to make something happen, but Raz fires back.
Raz with the trade has the Death Blossom ready to go. This Juno is exceptionally low, and those healing of Buddha do not get there fast enough. It is a 4 versus 3. Raz teleports to the other side, 85% and counting. Blazing on the point, forced away. Now only one more chance here for Tsunami.
As they're looking to try and regroup, Blazing does go down, which unfortunate Death Blossom with the grab. Not gonna. Oh, he is going to do it and is going to clean up every kill on this map. Only a Ramatra lickable grass remains on point, but it is all for naught. Zodiacs are going to win this first sub map on Samoa.
Yeah, Beach goes the way of the Zodiac here. I don't know. Raz is very much proving that self-given moniker of Carl Magnuson of Reaper, or yeah, that's the name, right? I'm Magnus Carlson. I got it backward. I might be stupid, but Raz was kind of just absolutely dominant there with those shotguns, the Reaper and his revolvers, or whatever somebody else said once. Those Zarya comp looking very, very formidable here right now, though, into the Ramatra.
Yeah, again, I think it's definitely a great composition. In general, we've seen it in OWCS to go up against ball comps of the such. But in this situation, I think it's just a lot of damage to just burst down the Ramatra very quickly. I was curious if they were going to swap to dive, because this is probably the best map on Samoa to be able to play. It's a lot more open. This downtown map, a lot more open spaces to be able to conduct the dives. But I think it's just smart to keep what's working.
All right, yeah, there's a dirty bubble on to Raz, forced to use the Wraith form. Thrown a second bubble, trying not to give Dexter that charge, but there is already 50 charge on this Zarya. Venti playing it safe on the high ground, but Sturley opens up this fight with a pick on to Blazing. Wraith form forced out of Venti, who will get the healing, but lickable grass, that bubble going to be popped. They're trying to keep him up, but just cannot keep up with this relentless damage from the side of Zodiacs, and it will be their point.
Yeah, so far so good once again for the side of the Zodiacs. The Wuyang Kiriko was such a good support combo. The Wuyang, has a lot of healing at their disposal and a lot of damage. They can just throw down chokes. And then the Kiri has a lot of the tools like the Suzu, a lot of Fudas you can throw to keep up the heals and allow Wuyang to be able to do his thing and look for picks.
Well, speaking of picks, the fight hasn't even started, and both supports are dead. As Sturley and Ponyo are just absolutely running it down into their backline, and the Zodiacs haven't even broken a sweat here on the downtown.
As we do see Tsunami, who swapped and matched the Zarya composition. But in my head, Flitch, we'll see how this next fight goes. But I think this is a big mistake. You're just playing the Zodiacs game, doing exactly what they want you to do.
All right, well, Pulse Bomb is out this time. Blazing will avoid it, end up getting backhanded by Sturley there. Gonna see Ponyo spamming from the backline, gonna slide away, has the tidal wave, will not even need to pop that ult. Kitsune Rush did come down, it helped them to clean up this fight. Pulse Bomb was out, but Zexo able to, just kind of sidestep it.
3 ults used overall in that fight for the side of the Zodiacs. It was an exchange for 2, so it wasn't too bad of an ult exchange. They're going to have to take full advantage of this grab. This is the last chance for Tsunami to try and touch the point. Grab and their Wuyang ult at their disposal.
Well, there is the grab. That is a pretty big one as the tidal wave comes out to help take down speed boost. Venti does end up getting the trade as Dexter has to play safe. No bubbles here. The charge is high, but can they get into this point safely before it goes over? We're going to see the lickable grass. Graviton Surge. Bubble comes out. Dexter gets pulled in, but lickable grass with the quick melee to take down Dexter. They're not done fighting here on this submap.
Yeah, they end up going to get that in the end. It felt like the Zodiacs, the way they played that wasn't the smartest. They all kind of split up a little bit. It felt like they were just trying to cover a lot of areas where they were trying to touch and stop the touch. But I feel like in the end, what you need to do was just as a group, wipe the remaining team members. Even if they got the point flip, doesn't matter. You won the fight and you can reflip it and they're not going to be able to touch. So slight mistake there from the Zodiacs.
All right, back in is Raz. Pops Venti there for the first pick of this fight. Lickable Grass already at 60%, but Raz coming in with a second. We move over to Sturley, who is going to look to take advantage of this Kitsune Rush from Zexo. Raz teleports into the backline with the Death Blossom ready to go, but Ray, there's nobody to shoot at. They're all dead.
Yeah, and that's going to be a point flip and likely the map for the side of the Zodiacs. We already see Raz going to the back, getting those bubbles out, can still pop the Death Blossom, and the Suzu's already out. That has potential, is not going to really find anything, but it's going to stop them from touching Zodiacs. Dominating map number 1. Didn't really have to break much of a sweat, but it's a great first showing.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a good sign when you make the opponent play your game because they just think it's better, right? That lends a lot of credibility to what the Zodiacs have decided to play, even though they would maybe have preferred to play the dive in a perfect world. The Zarya works out beautifully. Dexter controlling a lot of space with those bubbles. Playing it like the early 2022 Dallas Fuel with their dirty bubble composition, right? Where, Hanbin was protecting Edison beautifully unselfish with those bubbles from Dexter, only using it on himself to, if absolutely necessary, enabling Raz and Sturley to dominate.
Yeah, I've actually heard like the role of a Wuyang has felt very similar to like how Moira was back in the day during those days of the zombie comp where you're running like the Moira Lucio Winston with like a Reaper Sombra. It's just a lot of just burst heals from the Wuyang, a lot of pick potential, but you don't just have like a lot of utility. I mean, you have some, but it's not a whole lot. Like kind of Moira's got the fade, he's got the water ride to get out. But now you get to put that with a Kiriko now in these days where you got a Suzu to help your team. Kitsune Rush is just a crazy busted ultimate. And it really works out well with the Zarya in this case. But if we go to further maps, we'll see it'll be the Tsunami's map pick. But if we go to a more dive map, it'll still work out very well with the Winston. I think this new support hero is shaping out and looking very good so far.
I mean, I kind of agree, right? I mean, he's very, very annoying to deal with in a lot of scenarios. Has, decent survivability. So I can see why he is being played. But now moving forward into this next map, like you said, it will be Tsunami's map pick. We will go just about anywhere they want that is available to be played. I guess would need to look at the actual map pool, but will be theirs coming up soon. I imagine they want to go to another place where they can potentially run a rush. So we will see as we get ready to peep into this next map. And you know what, Ray? I was right. It's always King's Row, man.
Ironically, Fledge, the funny thing is, I play in the Plat division. I play a lot of Lucio for my team, and I was getting some coaching on how to wall ride better on Lucio. They literally took me into Kings Row because we just assume we're going to be going to Kings Row a lot this season. So they were teaching me all the wall ride spots on that map. But it's just crazy. It doesn't matter the division. Kings Row is just a map that everybody loves. It feels like, because it's been around for so long, I think, people know it very well. You're very well practiced on it. So, especially when your backs are against the wall and you don't really want to have to go down 2-0 and have to look to reverse sweep. This is a great map to try and get you back on track.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's just comfort, right? It's just a comfortable map. A lot of teams feel very cozy on King's Row, which is kind of, a double-sided blade, right? You're comfortable on it, but the opposing team is probably pretty comfortable on it as well. But Tsunami, with their preference to run the rush composition, even if it is not in the best state it's been as of recently, Kings Row is never going to be a bad option when you want to run something to that effect. Now the question is, what do we get for our bans? Of course, Tsunami lost the map, so they will be getting their choice of ban here first, Ray.
Yeah, the question is, do they look to do like a protect ban once again, or do they see the power of the Zarya and ban that? I mean, I think given this is a brawl map, and if you're wanting to play the Ramatra again, maybe taking the Zarya off the field would be a good idea, because then you don't have, the strength of Zodiac, who they just got their Zarya charged up and kind of mowed down the Ramatra. But you could also, Raz was playing very well on the Reaper as well. You could look to ban that. I talked about the power of the Wu Yang right now. They weren't really playing it, so maybe you look to get rid of that for the side of the Zodiacs. I think there's a lot of potential bans on the side, and it looks like we are going to get the Wu Yang.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were a couple of right answers, so I'm not too mad about that at all. Ponyo was doing excellently on the Wu Yang during this last bat, but now the Zodiacs have their choice of ban, and I think that this is tough because I think they know what Tsunami want to do. They kind of saw their comfort break a little bit last map, and now they can go for the pressure point, right? They can take out the Ramatra, go up 2-0 with that fact in mind. It would not be the worst thing in the world for them to get rid of that, prominent tank for this team. But it's actually going to be the Reaper. Banning Raz's Reaper here in this second map. Reaper, Wu Yang, both teams did like the Reaper last map. So, you're also taking it out of Tsunami's hands. So, ultimately, not the worst couple of bans in the world.
So automatically my thought is dive is coming out from the Zodiacs. Not that Wu Yang can't be in dive, but I mean, you can still play plenty of other supports with the dive. But I think the fact that they went and got rid of the Reaper, who would be a huge counter to the Winston that we mentioned they put in the team sheet and seem to like a lot. So I think that's the idea behind it. We'll see if I'm wrong, but that's just what the alerts in my head were going off when I saw that ban.
I mean, I think that's a good shout, right? They obviously like their dive compositions, and Reaper is kind of a nuisance to most of them, right? Whether you're running Diva, Hazard, Reaper's just good at chunking down those, rotund tanks. None more rotund than Winston, who is very easy to chunk down with those Hellfire shotguns. So I agree. I honestly think that is what we are going to see as well. Of course, everybody thinks of Kings Row as this rush capital of the world, but over the last few years, it has proven itself to be more of a, excuse the pun, hybrid right? You can run rush, you can run a a dive composition, and it will be just that for the side of the Zodiacs. I can't imagine Ponyo stays on the Mercy for all that long, but it's basically what we thought they were going to run.
This defensive composition for Tsunami, man. Reinhardt.
This is old school.
Yeah, this is definitely old school Kings Row. The question is, does the old school comp kind of, just get, outdone in this new Overwatch 2? To me, there really is a reason why we don't see Reinhardt a lot, especially in the higher tiers. Like in my plat division, we're going to see a lot of Reinhardt, and I get it, but these higher tiers where it comes down to the better compositions, Reinhardt just ain't it. So, I don't feel super good about this into the dive, but we'll see how it goes.
All right, here we go. Starly headed over off the Hanzo on to the Tracer. Ponyo on to the Lucio. Dexter is on the high ground. Going to drop down to this point. Lickable Grass is alone. There's nobody nearby. Starly good for the first pick on to Blazing. Lickable Grass has run back over and flipped the map with the Zodiacs, and I think you can kind of see the confusion in Dexter's mouse movements. Like, where are they going? They just gave the point to them for free.
I agree. Also, like, the positioning from Tsunami, Fletch, made zero sense. You're playing a Reinhardt comp, and for the most part, they were split most of the time. That's not how you, especially Reinhardt, May, Cassidy. Like, you want everyone to be together, moving as a unit, using those May walls to separate players and just unleashing a bunch of damage super fast with that speed boost. And we're just not seeing that so far.
All right, well, Dexter actually being the one that is poking right now. You can see Lickable Grass through the wall coming up to try and deal with Dexter up on this high ground as Sturley's drinking on the job. Drinking and driving, for that matter. Sturley, get it together. Raz on the off angle now. It doesn't seem like anybody wants to pay a whole lot of attention to this Soldier 76. Forces Big Brain to run inside. Lickable Grass needs that immortality field to stay alive. That shield getting very low as Raz goes on another flank here. Right, this is kind of looking desperate right now for the side of Tsunami.
As again, the one thing about this competition from Zodiacs that I was a little almost like pausing about, hesitating, was the Soldier. Because I'm like, we just don't see Soldier a lot. It's not really, doesn't really go with the dive. But I mean, Raz has been playing it very well so far. Gonna have Tactical Visor for this next fight. And Blazing had used the High Noon in that fight. So you got an ult off of the board for one ult of your own. So you'll take that exchanges. Now the Primal Rage is coming out.
And Sturley is in the back line trying to deal with this. Gonna find the stick. Very close to eating that themselves. But because Lickable Grass was the first casualty in that fight, really not much hope here for Tsunami as they are pushed into their spawn.
And down goes Venti on the Freya. A lot of space is going to be bought. You'll basically be able to push past this first corner for, almost free as we see some of these players come back. Sound barrier is going to be used from Ponyo just to make sure they don't die and they're able to get out. Still, they are in a tough spot.
Leaving, Ponyo is not leaving. Okay, Tsunami, Ponyo will eventually go down. Tsunami has this Earth Shatter. Lickable Grass wants to drop that here soon, but Raz is on the high ground, got up there with, I assume, a Helix rocket jump, and Soldier 76 with this high ground control, that's going to be tough to deal with for Tsunami.
Yeah, as already the Suzu and the TP used for the side of Big Brain. We'll see if Venti can get anything done on this spray, but they're going to need some miracle picks here. 4 meters left to go before it's delivered.
All right, well, the sound barrier to help get aggressive there for the side of Tsunami. Venti finding a lot of damage there. Zexo actually getting taken down by the bolts of Venti, who is not comfortable, we'll say. Going to look to get up there and join Raz, who has Soldier 76 themselves away. Will end up eating a Fire Strike, though, on the way out. So, take a moment to breathe for Tsunami.
Yeah, 4 ults in their bank as well to be able to use. So they have a lot of tools of engagement to continue to hold defensively here. It's just a lot of time they have to continue to hold as Zodiacs bought themselves so much time. And they've done well with the Kitsune rushes. Here we go. There's another.
All right, well, Zexo popped by Blazing there. To see what Sterling wanted, but didn't end up getting it. Ponyo will end up delivering on that promise, though, taking down Blazing here. The dive going to come through, I believe. That's on a nobody. Nobody is in there. I assume it was Big Brain who just TP'd out. Venti with another one on the off angle. Has the bola shots ready to go at any time here.
Again, I like the positioning that we've been seeing from Tsunami, making sure they can. Oh, Raz gets him from a distance. Venti was a little too far out in the open. In that case, still has the pulse bomb available as well as going to whiff it.
Yeah, a little bit wide there. This is an aggressive Deadeye, and it kills 2? Blazing, getting aggro as all hell, finds 2 kills there, does end up getting traded, but well worth it. Oh, breathe in a little too fast there. Was a little bit nervous, but lickable grass, stuck in a corner. Here's the bola shot, but answered by the sound barrier preemptively. We're going to see this Primal Rage, the juggle, onto Blazing, finished off by Raz with the Helix Rocket, and with everything going the way of Red in this kill feed, it will be the Zodiacs capping, but we finally saw some life out of Tsunami there at the end of this this half.
I agree. They started to really gain their footing, and what it really came down to was just a really good primal and follow-up from Raz from the side of the Zodiacs. And they end up finishing with quite an impressive time bank overall. So regardless, you know, if they can just get Tsunami to overtime, even if they finish the map, they will be the only ones who get a chance at attacking once again. So I think all in all, Zodiacs, great job. We'll have to see. Now that Tsunami feels like they've built up a little bit of momentum, got some picks there, found some good positioning, and got some good ults off, what they can do with this newly found confidence.
All right, here we go. I can't imagine a lot will change, but I do like the idea of bringing Venti out on the Freya again. Looked very, very strong on the Freya in the back half of that defense. I'm gonna need to keep that performance going if they want to have a chance in this map, because they did end up, you know, stalling a little bit, but it's still a 2-minute 20 time bank they're facing down. That is still a lot to deal with, but for the most part, the way that I'm looking is we need lickable grass to make this Reinhardt make sense, because right now, I really haven't seen much, Ray.
I agree. It's kind of how I mentioned. I was curious if an old school comp like this could work in the new Overwatch 2, and so far the answer has been no. Let's see. Reinhardt does tend to be a better offensive composition than it is defensive, so let's see how it goes.
All right. Well, almost everybody is on the high ground, an area of the map where Reinhardt cannot access without the help of a Symmetra. Venti falls here early, so off to a poor start here on the attack for Tsunami. It is lickable grass left and won't be around for too much longer.
I mean, just look at how that fight went, Dex. It was like lickable grass went in there, went to the area of the point, kind of just stood there. The whole team was separated. You know, they were all in their own areas. It's just that, like, you're not getting any value out of the Reinhardt.
I'm not Dex.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Fletch.
All right, here we go. Looks like a high ground push this time for Tsunami, grouped up in the theater. Could be an interesting shout going all the way up around the staircase, but I can imagine that Dexter and Sterling are going to meet them on either side of this choke. Sterling did get a little bit low there, forced to leave the fray for the moment. Dexter just holding down M1 on this Tesla cannon. Going to rotate through the low ground now. Dexter's dead.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that is really, really uncomfortable for the side of Zodiacs. I think that Tsunami just needs to drop to the point here.
I agree 100%. I don't know what you're doing there if you're Dexter. You know, you just put yourself in a bad spot. That cast flashbang was always on the table. And then if not, the Reinhardt could have charged you. I think that was just a bad position to be in. Raz, however, is coming back and carrying the team.
just too slow, right? As Sterling looks to clean this up, finds the last 2 picks. That's a team kill in a fight that Tsunami should have won.
Yeah, you got the Winston. What are you doing? Take point control. The Reinhardt doesn't want to just keep rotating around high ground. He wants to be able to hold points and take space and, let's keep it on the high ground, not swing on anything. It's not the greatest plan there from Tsunami.
So they're going to try this again, which, it looked like it was going to work the last time. If they were a little bit faster, there will be a trade, Ponyo for Venti. That's not a thing I'm particularly worried about as the Deadeye comes through. Everybody will be able to get away from it. No skull there for Blazing, who rolls right into the middle of everything as the tactical visor from the high ground going to claim 1. Probably going to get another 1 or 2. There's the Earth Shatter. Finds 2. But the sound barrier came in from Ponyo to keep this fight rolling. Ray, I'm at a loss at the Mo.
Yeah, you did get enough picks to where your team's going to have the ability to re-engage if you are Zodiacs. So you don't have to rush anything, as we see a lot of the spawners coming back. They're putting a lot of pressure onto Venti.
All right, Big Brain under pressure now. We'll go down to Sterling. Oh my God, who's just absolutely dominating. Did not even know where they were going to recall to, and still found 3. Sterling is absolutely beautiful on this Tracer.
And that was
That's
every
4.
ult that Tsunami had. 4K for Sterling. Pulse bomb in the back pocket and a Kitsune rush coming from Zodiacs. Last attempt to touch as the Pulse bomb finds Venti. They did get Raz, but there's just not a lot of players left.
It's up to Lickable Grass to get there. Lickable Grass will get on to this point. Dexter's going to go down. So this is kind of the opening that Tsunami needed here. Raz will be rotating back up towards this high ground, looking to rain that pulse rifle in from above. Ponyo gets the cleanse. Now we see Blazing turn the attention towards Sterling, who will move over to the Mega Health Pack, but cannot get back to the objective at large. Tsunami will capture out on A.
Ultimately getting it done in the end are Tsunami. Again, I think that was just Zodiacs feeling like they needed to play aggressive to try and stop Tsunami from trying to get a touch. But when they were able to, you probably needed to back up there and get out. I didn't like that Dexter was, trying to keep point presence. I get it. They only needed a single tick, but you're not going to win that point battle with the Reinhardt.
Okay, Kitsune rush down for Zexo here. Able to escape the immense pressure that would provide, and Lickable Grass able to get away, but can he live? He cannot, and now everybody on top of each other. It's not looking pretty as the bodies just continue to fall here.
Still a minute and a half on the clock for Tsunami. They do got to get this cart moving because, they can't afford to finish in overtime. They got to start, with some time. It's going to be tough sledding if they keep, getting, fights forced, over and over again and them not winning them. 5 ults coming online for Tsunami, so this is their opportunity.
Here we go, sound barrier in here for Tsunami as they try to get this fight rolling. Dexter going to pop the Primal Rage, is hindered by the bola shots, half HP, even a little under that. But Raz, with this tactical visor, has found 1. The red team just continues to find this. Everybody getting a piece of this fight. Staggering out this Reinhardt is absolutely brutal.
Yeah, and there's nothing he could do. All you can do is charge out and try and force it. And they're going to use the sound barrier to get even more aggressive. 30 seconds left on the clock. Pulse Bomb is going to whiff now. Feels like Zodiacs are just feeling themselves now, but I don't know about committing 2 ultimates like that. They're finding picks. I don't know if they can touch now.
They've just got Frogger in the back line right now. Lee J gone looking right now with 13 seconds left, and the objective 72 meters from the starting line. It's going to be up to Lickable Grass, who will be able to take down Ponyo. Going to pin over to the objective. Will get overtime started. Going to get those healing Ofuda from Big Brain. Has the Earth Shadow ready to go. Raz is also out of this fight. So now the Zodiacs getting punished for their hubris as Tsunami begins their push in overtime. Gonna see the Kitsune Rush dropped in from Zexo. There is the Earth Shatter. Will land onto Dexter, but you cannot get off the point for even a split second. And that split second will come and pass as the Zodiacs take map number 2.
All things considered, Zodiacs are continuing to show their their skill. The advanced Face It League top 10 currently, finished top 7 last year, 7th place. So they're definitely showing that their teamwork is impeccable, their compositional choices. Literally the only thing that we could say is, the hubris a little bit has gotten them, giving them points or giving them more meterage than you would have hoped. But outside of that, when the rubber needs to meet the road, they are, going insane, and they're playing very well.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Zodiacs are the better team in the lobby. We'll see if anything changes headed into map number 3. But before that, we will take a quick break. When we come back, it will be Tsunami's final map selection of this series, their final first ban. We'll get back to this in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back, everybody. Right now, 2 maps to 0. The Zodiacs on match point here in their Week 2 series against Tsunami and Ray. It's kind of played out like the results from last week kind of would have presented to us. Right, a 3-0 win for Zodiacs, a 3-0 loss for Tsunami. Unfortunately, the forces for Tsunami, that is, the Zodiacs have just kind of dominated start to finish in this series as we get ready to head over to Colosseo.
Colosseo could be the end for Tsunami. They have to win the next 3 maps in a row, or they will be out of week 2 with an 0-2 loss. And as I mentioned, that's going to be very tough to make the midseason. Even if you go 2-2, there's just a lot of teams in the open tier. The band faces up next for the side of Tsunami. So we saw them ban Wu Yang previously, so we know that's not on the table anymore. And before, they banned a tank. Question is, Fletch, the DPS have gone pretty crazy. Raz and Sturley on that Soldier, Tracer / Reaper. Like, what do you do here? Like, I feel like one of the DPS got to go, but which one do you pick? It's like, pick your poison, you know what I mean?
I don't know. If you're going to ban a DPS, I feel like it has to be Tracer, because Sturley has just been an unkillable demon on that character. Yeah, not surprising to me even.
Yeah, because I guess with Raz has shown the ability to be able to play Soldier and Reaper. So like you ban one, you just play the other. Not saying Sterling can't play other heroes, but we've only seen them play the Tracer so far. So kind of makes sense to go that direction if you're going to get rid of a DPS. Now the question is, where do the Zodiacs go from here? We know it's Colosseo. We know it can be a very close quarters type map. They can't ban the Lucio because they did that map number 1. They could ban the Juno, who also provides that speed kind of boost here, or they go in the direction of a tank. Do they look to ban the Reinhardt that we saw last map? Hard to think that given how much they dominated the Rhine. I'm curious where they go.
Very good question indeed. We will see in just a couple of seconds here. It's going to be the Ramatra, which not unthinkable, right? The Zodiacs know that Tsunami want to run Ramatra if they can, and now sitting on match point, you take away their best composition. You're going to put yourself in a really good position regardless of how you had been playing throughout the rest of this series. And when you add on the fact that they have been extremely dominant through the rest of this series, you've got to imagine the Zodiacs are incredibly comfortable heading into this final or potentially final map, even with Sturley not going to be on the Tracer.
Here we go, folks. Colosseo could be where it all ends for Tsunami. We know both teams. We kind of see what they like to play in general. There won't be a Ramatra on the board. We did see that in map number 1 where they countered with the Zarya. We could still see the Rhine, but the Rhine did not go very well into this Winston. So I think it's just, I think the Zodiacs know what they want to do. It's, backs against the wall, pressure's on. Tsunami, what do you do here to try and get yourself back into this series?
An answer will come momentarily here as we get a nice little shot of the Galleria Imperial. Just a moment more as we wait for these players to select their heroes. This is taking way longer than I feel like it usually does, Ray. All right, I can hear the music now. I can see characters. I see a Lucio. What have we got? Tsunami have switched their lineup, which is a little annoying, but I'm sure we'll be okay. Dexter's going to be on the Wrecking Ball, which is another really good tank at the moment, but Big Brain going to try and hold it down on the Orisa.
I mean, going against their Wrecking Ball, I feel like, the spears can be, really knock Dexter off, the rollouts they're trying to do. The Fortify, doesn't allow the boops, but you just got to play the Orisa very accurately and use your cooldowns very well in order to counteract this Wrecking Ball.
Lickable Grass already forced to use the Wraith form, but Blazing with this first pick on to Zexo on the Wu Yang. Going to be incredibly annoying as a great job peeling there. Dexter does end up getting that final blow on to blazing, but this fight is well in control of Tsunami as long as they do not let it get away from them.
Yeah, the lots of heals coming up from the adaptive shields. Gonna get that mega. Still can roll out and look for picks. Looks like they are gonna take a little roundabout route here as the cart is continuing to get pushed by Tsunami. Here we go.
Slam down on top of Big Brain, but Raz is able to get rid of that Lucio. Dexter playing, just absolutely bowling through people right now, going to find a second, proving the strength of our rodent friend here.
Yeah, and that's being patient. Are the Zodiacs like, okay, we lost Zexo kind of early. You know, we can still look to disrupt a little bit, but just don't hard engage. And then once we have our full group, we can look to recoalesce and go for a dive once again. And they really make it happen.
Oh, wow. Okay. Calling out Sturley beautifully there. Knew exactly where that Venture would try to hide. Raz cannot escape even with those enhanced legs. Lickable Grass trying to chase down this Lucio. Able to get away there was Ponyo, but the fight already back in control of Tsunami with or without Ponyo in the fray.
A lot of great positioning being held by this Rizzo competition, but in come the mines.
Okay.
They're going to separate a lot of these players. Can they get picks off it?
I mean, it was a good job of Zexo getting rid of those mines, but this tactical visor, okay, I thought that I saw Speed Boost start to go down with the sound barrier, but did not come out. That was a very, very quick fight.
That it was, and that's kind of how it goes with these compositions. In the blink of an eye, especially with Wrecking Ball, you know, people can just be obliterated, and then you say, wow, fight's already over. They're going to have the tidal wave as well as a sound barrier and that Venture ult. Here we go.
All right, well, here's the sound barrier to get aggro. Sturley does not receive the benefits of that ultimate, though. Ponyo looking to keep the pressure in from the off angle, going to use the speed boost to get away, headed into second spawn here as the Zodiacs are going to regroup here with the death of Big Brain. Ponyo does end up falling here, but it's still red in control.
Felt like Icarus with the Lucio flying a little too close to the sun ended up, you know, getting punished for it. The wax wings melted, but still Zodiacs maintain control as Sturley forced to use that burrow pretty early on, but they will get the checkpoint. I think, you know, Deadly Tsunami definitely want to try and hold that, but unfortunately they weren't able to.
Well, there goes Sterling, there goes Ponyo. Blazing does end up falling, but it is two players down before that can come through. Slam going to come through from Dexter, trying to take care of Speed Boost on this Lucio, but they cannot confirm that kill. Have to swing back, going to go back to contest to this point. Venti down on the ground. Raz, though, as we see the minefields come out again, able to take down Lickable Grass. The trades just continue to come through, Ray. These fights are anything but clean.
I was going to say, we haven't had a clean team fight win from either of these teams in a minute. It looks like we might be getting it here, but it's so hard to, you know, wipe everyone out of a Wrecking Ball composition. But they might have done what they needed to do to finally get some cart progress going in their direction. But I see that Zexo finds Blazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just trades galore here. Raz was very low, and you see those health pools at the top left of your screen, all looking very, very unhealthy. Raz finally coming in to clean up that kill onto Big Brain. And it will be a push through on this checkpoint here once again as this back half begins for the Zodiacs.
Tactical Visor still available, but Tsunami has so much at their disposal. It feels like they should win this, especially with getting Sturley early. Raz forced to use that healing pylon pretty early on.
All right, Raz getting active here, but doesn't even really need to. Gonna throw that Tactical Visor in, see if it sticks. Just a peeking game. Looked like Raz was playing Valorant with that Tactical Visor. Not giving anything but the head glitch. And, I mean, the Zodiacs are just absolutely rolling right now on this attack now.
Yeah, and in the meantime, because you're able to stall out for so long, find the picks, you did use 2 ults there, but in the meantime, the rest of Zodiacs have gotten their ults to match the ones that Tsunami are going to have. It just feels like that last fight was a total disaster for the side of Tsunami.
All right, well, they're going to look to get aggressive with that sound barrier from Speed Boost. There's the Death Blossom, but does not find a lot, getting kind of thrown around like a ragdoll is lickable grass. You see the blue swarming this bot, but I mean, Zodiacs know that they have a win con. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they have the sound barrier to deal with either of these 2 ultimates coming online for the side of Tsunami. Sound barrier is now going to come out to get aggressive to get Venti.
The Wuyong out of the fight, no tidal wave to keep them swimming. Big Brain does have this Terra Surge. We'll see if anything wants to come of that. The answer is resounding no. Speed Boost and Big Brain are down as the bot goes back towards this barrier.
Yeah, another team wipe for the side of the Zodiacs. 110 meters about to be online. Still 3 minutes on the clock, so there's still time for Tsunami, but they got to cobble together a team fight win. They haven't gotten anything clean. They've either been losing the fights or they're just in a trade constantly.
Big Brain taking control of the bot will not allow it to be pushed any further. We're going to see the Deadeye, unfortunately, straight into the wall. The minefield is incredibly annoying. We're going to see the tidal wave in on to Big Brain, but it doesn't seem like it's going to help a whole heck of a lot here. Wraith form for lickable grass, who has just walked right to the plank there.
As we're rounding the final meters on Colosseo, Tsunami, they have to make something happen. The Big Brain goes over to the wrecking ball. Will it be enough? A lot of pressure is being put onto this DPS line.
Lickable grass gets put down, and not sure how Venti died there, but as the Zodiacs find these picks, it will be a completion here on Colosseo, and to be honest with you, Ray, it probably wouldn't have felt right any other way. The way that the Zodiacs came to play today, it kind of felt like this was inevitable.
The thing we saw from the Zodiacs to me was, what's the word? Like they can just flexible. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. Flexible. We saw 3 maps, 3 different compositions, and they looked good on all 3 of them. So I think that bodes well. I think for the open division, this is the team you have to watch out for. They're going to be, there's going to be a lot of 2-0 teams after week 2. This is one of them, and they've shown that they can play at a high level on many different types of compositions.
Yeah, even I mean, and all of them were like good, conventionally strong compositions right now, right? They played the Zarya, they played the Winston, they played the Wrecking Ball. All are very, very possible right now. So, this is definitely one of those teams you're looking at to, potentially make a run in, at the very least, the mid-season here, right? They put themselves in a very good spot to make that mid-season tournament, right? Only 4 games between the start of the season and the mid-season tournament, right? 2 left for this team. Pretty sure you just need to win 3, and you're in the open division at the very least, very close. So this is definitely a team you have to watch out for. But Ray, we've got Sterling on the other side of a break, ready to come talk to us. The Tracer Superstar. I guess we'll talk to him about how they're feeling about their season so far. So everybody stick around. We'll be right back with an interview with Sterling. Welcome back, everybody. We have got the menace with the Pulse Pistols, Sterling here for an interview. 6-0 start to the season, Sterling. How are y'all feeling right now?
Yeah, it's been great. We're really enjoying this season. We're really enjoying Wu Yang. We're Wu Yang merchants, so we've been running it.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, we kind of saw that at least in the team sheet. It seemed like you guys, liked the Winston, but today you guys showed a lot of flexibility between the Zarya, the Winston, and then on the final map, obviously the Wrecking Ball. Do you guys feel like that's your strength is you guys are just so good at a vast majority of compositions?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think Raz is really good on choosing what character he likes to play and making it all about the map, so we can kind of choose whatever DPS we want and then kind of put Zarya on top of that when we need to, like when we're playing Reaper or Venture. We really like the Zarya.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the one thing, I mean, Raz ended up, doing very well on it, but the one time I only questioned anything was the soldier, just because we don't see a lot of soldier that much anymore. What's the kind of the idea behind it? It's just Raz like, man, I'm feeling the soldier. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just want to lock the legs. I get it. He just wanted to lock the legs. He locked the legs, and he got it done.
I mean, listen, I was a little bit disappointed by the lack of Reaper from the Magnus Carlsen of Reaper. I'll say it. All right. I was a little bit sad about that because I do like a little bit of good Reaper gameplay, but I mean, like I said, y'all are 6-0 in maps to start this season. How are y'all feeling about y'all's strong performances overall to start this season?
Yeah, it's looking good. We've been really working really hard to try and make sure we have these comps down. Obviously, it's a new season, so it's kind of unfamiliar, but we're getting stuff done. It's pretty great. Yeah.
I mean, hey, the results speak for themselves, Sterling. But I believe, unless Ray, you have anything else to say to Sterling here, that'll do it for our questions. Before we send you out here, Sterling, is there anything else you wanted to bring up that maybe we didn't, or any shout outs that you would like to make before you go?
Yeah, shout out to Dyak, my old team. Dingers in all caps. You guys are the GOAT. Have a good retirement.
Oh, shout out Dyak and Sterling once again. Congrats on getting the win here tonight, and we wish you the best of luck headed into the next few weeks.
Thank you.
That was a very quick game. A very, very quick game. It's not a... I really don't have anything else to say that we haven't already said about what happened here tonight, Ray.
And once again, Zodiacs, they just look like, big threat in the NA Open tier. So if anyone's watching out there in the NA Open tier, watch out for this team. But with that, I feel like that's going to wrap things up. Before we officially wrap things up, keep in mind tomorrow, Saturday, we do have EU and NA games. The EU game will be at, I believe, 3 p.m. EST. And the NA game will be at 8 p.m. EST. So make sure you guys tune into those games. Got some great CGL action for you guys. And like to thank Echo, Mega, and Lottie behind the scenes for doing all that background prod work. We couldn't do what we do without you. Thank you, Fledge, for joining me on this cast. And thank you, everyone, for watching and tuning in. We will see you at the next broadcast. Later, guys.
Let's free fall.